Ladies and gentlemen, we invite your apprehensive listeners.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm so glad that you could make it today. I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of these videos showing you accessories that you can do to your Jeep just to help make it a little bit more fun off-road wise and everything. Today I am going to be putting an air compressor underneath the hood of my Jeep. Okay guys, first things first, we got to figure out where we are going to mount this air compressor underneath the hood of the Jeep. So I've been looking at some reviews and a lot of people are mounting it right here in this kind of general location. I was thinking about mounting it a little bit closer to the battery. I've got obviously plenty of cord here. I can put it just about wherever I want. The only thing is trying to figure out how to make sure I can still shut the hood after I get this thing in there. So let's figure out where I'm going to put this. Okay guys, after careful consideration, I've decided that I'm going to remove this plate that comes with the pump. I just cannot see a good place to utilize this where it's actually going to look clean inside the Jeep. So I am going to have to build my own plate. But I think that we can actually get it to mount in there better if we do it this way. And we'll go from there. Okay guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a sheet metal flat pattern kind of mount similar to this, but for this air compressor. And so this is the sheet of aluminum that I'm using. It's a scrap piece that I just found in the backyard. And so I'm going to show you guys how I make a little brace, how I'm going to make this brace for this pump, starting from scratch to finish. Okay, so getting this mounted in there. Now it looks like we got plenty of room on everything to get us where we want. We got this thing is now sitting in a good location that it's not going to rub anything or hit anything. It's just going to be down there good. I'm really close here, but I'm not touching. The pump doesn't go out as far as this plate does, so I know I'm clear. And so now is time to trace this out. Okay guys, we're here at our trusty portaband, and so I got this portaband mounted in such a way that it actually works as like a stand-up saw like this. This one's out of commission, so I'm not going to be using it, but this one's going to do just basically the same thing, other than I just can't put as big of a piece of metal into this, but I can still make my cuts fairly straight, and I can make it look pretty. I've got this thing all set up, so I just got a little push switch button. One press turns it on, one press turns it off. I don't have it plugged in, I gotta plug it in really quick, and then we'll get to cutting. Okay guys, got the saw plugged in, so we're good to go there. Now, I just want to let everybody know that whenever you're dealing with cutting metal, I always advise that you should wear gloves and safety glasses. It's just good protective measure to make sure that you're not getting harmed in any sort of way, shape, or form. I mean, the last thing you want to do is end up blind because you don't want to be able to not drive your Jeep anymore because you're blind because you got a piece of metal shaving in your eye. That's just ridiculous. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start, make these cuts. Okay guys, if you notice, I did have to make a lot of extra cuts to that sheet of metal. The reason why is because this saw, I can only put small pieces in it, and so I had to make a lot of these extra cuts to try to get the metal out of my way so that I could complete the cut that I was trying to make. But long term short, we did end up with the piece that we wanted. Now we're going to go ahead and round off all of these edges, and so I'm just going to use a sander to do that, and then we're going to go ahead and make our bends. And then we'll go ahead and after we've made our bends and we've got all of it smoothed out, we're going to go ahead and polish the piece, and then we'll come back, drill our holes, and we'll mount our pump. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to get this in where I want it to be. So I'm lining myself up with my Sharpie mark that I made earlier, so I knew where I knew where my bend would be at. So I'm going to go ahead and line it up right on that line, nice and flush. Just like so. Tighten it down a little bit. And then I'm just going to take my hammer and I'm going to start bending it down. Okay guys, so I went ahead and grabbed my pump. I've got my bracket. We're back at the Jeep. We're going to go ahead and just set this bracket in here right where we're expecting it to go. And we're going to go ahead and put the pump in there. Make sure that everything looks like it still fits. That way we can go ahead and move forward. Okay guys, so I got my tap and die set. This just allows me to be able to actually thread things so that you can run bolts inside of them. Okay, so we just laid down our first coat of paint, and we're gonna go ahead and let it dry for a minute, and then when it dries up, we're gonna go ahead and put our second coat on. That way we got two coats, clearly, to keep it nice and good looking. Okay guys, we got our bracket all nice and painted, looks good, ready to go ahead and get it installed. So first we're gonna go ahead and put the pump onto the bracket, and then we're gonna put this into the vehicle, and then say woohoo! Okay, now that we got our pump mounted into place, we need to go ahead and get our wiring figured out. So I know there's these giant, huge cables on here. Like, what are we gonna do with these? I mean, obviously, we don't want these just sitting there hooked up to the battery constantly. It seems like kind of a little bit of a nuisance to have this. So we're actually gonna go ahead and route this over there. We're gonna cut these wires, and we're going to put a different end on these that is a little eyelet adapter that will adapt to the battery and stay permanently connected to the battery. And so we're gonna go ahead and pull this little tie off that's holding this, undo our wire, and we're gonna go ahead and kind of route it along this stock wiring that we've got up here. Okay, so we are finally routed to the battery, and we're going to go ahead and get this connected to the battery. So we're not going to use these connectors. We're going to actually use a little bit different of a style. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and tear these two apart to try to kind of split them up. Because I want to get, because I need to route this one over to here, like so, and route this one over to here. So now I've got these little connections, these little leads that already have a connector on them. And we are now hooked up. So now, for our last step, all we have to do is run over to our pump and make sure that it's working. Hey guys, so we just got done driving our Jeep. Obviously it is muddy, and so we're getting ready to go ahead and air our tires back up. So they were at 35, and I aired them down to 20 just to make the road feel a little bit more cushion. And so now we're gonna go ahead and air it back up and use our brand new pump. One thing that I do recommend while we're doing this is that you leave the vehicle running. That way you don't run your battery dead, because otherwise, I mean, it'd be nice to have full tires, but you won't be able to go anywhere if your battery's dead. Okay guys, so it looks like we're just about at our 35 mark. So I'm gonna go ahead, once it hits 35, shut it off, and we'll see how accurate it actually is. Well guys, that's pretty much it. That's what we've got for it. I'm gonna go ahead and air up the other 4 tires. I'm gonna get out, give this baby a wash, and we will see you back at the shop. Okay guys, we went and installed our pump into our Jeep. We also went out onto the road, tested it, aired down our tires, went and had a whole bunch of fun, and then we actually filled our tires back up with this pump. Man, this pump actually works a lot better than I thought it would. It looks sleek under there. Oh man, I really enjoy it, just looking at it. I think that pump turned out to be a pretty awesome setup. So in the future, if you're looking to make something fun happen, do something cheap, easy, trying to get just somewhere where you're actually like in the group of the Jeep world, like me, that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to figure out how to keep up with these other guys. Then this is the right way to go. This is nice, cheap, we'll get you there. Well, guys, I hope to see you in the next video. You guys enjoy yourself. Have a great rest of your day.